Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight. I know how busy life is, and especially for sports parents, between school, practices, competitions, travel, injuries, meals, and trying to keep up with everything. And life with the young athletes can't honestly feel like full-time jobs sometimes or most of the time. But anyways, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Maki Hosono, and one of the reasons I wanted to host this seminar is because this topic became very personal for me as a gymnastics mom. My daughter is 15 years old and currently training for level 9 gymnastics. So she trains about 25 hours a week, which I know many parents in this community can relate to. Um, so over the years, we've experienced just about everything like stress fractures, tendonitis, sprains, muscle pains, concussions, recovery setbacks, mental stress, honestly, you name it. Um, and through all of that, I started realizing something like we spend so much time, money, and energy supporting training and performance, but many of us were never really taught how to support these athletes internally. And about 3 years ago, I was introduced to LifeVantage and started learning more about nutrition, oxidative stress, cellular health, recovery, gut health and wellness support from completely different perspective. So tonight we're very lucky to have Dr. Janet with us. She has 40 years of experience as a chiropractor and has also been a LifeVantage consultant for the past year and a half, which gives us a unique perspective combining clinical experience with wellness education and proactive health support. So tonight is really about education, prevention, recovery, and long-term health. I think tonight's conversation is going to be incredibly valuable, whether your child is currently injured, struggling with recovery, or you just simply want to learn how to better support their health and performance long term. So thank you again for being here. And with that, I would love to introduce you to Dr. Janet.
Thank you, Maki. I was telling her earlier before anybody was getting on that I love doing these because it helps me get really excited again about what we have to offer everybody. But first of all, like she said, I'm Dr. Janet Klein. My last day of seeing patients is tomorrow. I'm retiring, but I am also a boy mom and have raised three sons that were very active in sports, and they are now 36, 34, and 26, and I have 10 grandbabies that are all getting into sports and pretty active. My youngest son, he actually he was well, he still is very athletic, and he did football, he did wrestling, and he did baseball. And I so wish that I had all of what we have now in my toolbox because I do acupuncture, I do cupping, I do laser, I do PMF, I do every biohacking tool there is out there. I've been doing for years and years and years, basically to help keep my family in shape. So when she asked me to talk about sports injuries, I laughed. I said, I know really, really well about sports injuries, just not from my patients, but more from my kids and going through everything from dislocated shoulders and you name it. Because when they're tough and they're focused and they have their mind on doing something like gymnastics, that's a tough, tough competition because you're pushing your body and pushing your body. And it's not just even about injuries because exercise alone creates all of these tissues to stress and break down. And so recovery, even just exercising, is so important. So I was gonna, when she told me, she goes, I want you to cover this and this and this and this, I said, we would be there 4 hours doing this training. And it's not that I couldn't talk for 4 hours on this subject because it's near and dear to my heart, but I'm going to stick with the basics of what has happened with some of my patients and why nutrition, everything matters. It's not a matter of just being focused on when you have a competitive athlete or you yourself, not a matter of just wanting to get better at the sport you're doing or even your own body building it. The recovery is more important than ever. Because if you can prevent things from happening to begin with, so we're not even talking injuries, which injuries can happen, of course, but when you can prevent it from happening to begin with, or recovery, or get your body in the best shape ever, that's really, really, really important. So one of my patients, actually, a mom with two girls, she's a basketball coach, and the oldest one graduated last year, really athletic and very high competitive person. About 3 weeks before they were qualifying for state, they were that good of a team. She came down on her ankle bad, twisted it, tore both sides of the ankle, really severe. And her orthopedic surgeon said, "You're done." And this girl had scholarships to major universities across the United States that she could pick from. Her mom, I know the grandfather, and he told her mom, said, "You call Dr. Klein right now because I know whatever she tells you to do, you do it, and we're going to get her better." And I'm like, okay, 3 weeks, and she has major tears, they in a boot, and I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. So I started her on the liquid collagen and Protandim, and we'll talk about it in a minute, what it does and why I did that. And I told her, I said, "I know you got to stay off of it and do all that for recovery, but we're gonna like double up if we really need to get you in good shape." And the orthopedic, he was like, nothing's gonna help that fast. Well, in 3 weeks, she was playing in her state tournament, and
Bullshit.
she had it wrapped. She had it supported and everything to be able to allow her to do that. And young people tend to have a quicker recovery time, but it blew me away. I thought, this is like fantastic. And she went on to be able to get her scholarship, and she's playing in college now. And she's continuing to stay on the collagen and Protandim. Well, her younger sister, that's 2 years older, she's a junior, so she still has her senior year to go. She did the same thing right before state this last basketball a couple months ago season. Not as bad. And her mom called me up, and I said, "You're going to have to get more collagen," because the first daughter took it back to college and was taking it. And I said, "No, you're going to have to get another one." So same thing. Within a couple weeks, she was playing at the state tournament again. But it's one thing being a doctor for 40 years and having, I mean, that's my practice, is everybody has joint pain that comes in. And like I said, I've done every single biohacking thing there is out there. In the 40 years of doing this, I've never seen results like I've been seeing with these products. And the whole difference is because they're activators. They're not just supplements. Protandim is how LifeVantage got started. And it's just this little yellow tablet, and it's huge. And you wouldn't imagine everything that's in it to be as huge as it is. But we have a movement right now because it's the foundation of everything. And because it's patented, and because of the scientists that started this whole research into it to find out exactly how to reduce oxidative stress. Everyone has oxidative stress. If you are breathing, you have oxidative stress. But athletes have even more, because part of their recovery and muscles and breakdown and tissue breakdown and protein and the way it's synthesis and the way that it's um, needed more and more of the amino acids and things like that, it's even more of a recovery. So if you can lower oxidative stress and inflammation, so inflammation is like, everyone knows what inflammation is like. Think of a fire. Oxidative stress is like pouring gas on it. It just blows it up even more. And when you're an athlete, that's the number one thing you have to do is lower that oxidative stress. And that's what Protandim does. And it lowers it even 40% in 30 days, and sometimes more. Probably if you're younger, it's probably faster, like what I've been seeing. It increases your own glutathione. And the difference between like taking a supplement, and I'm not saying supplements aren't bad, especially athletes, we need more calcium, we need more vitamin D, and we need magnesium and zinc and some of these other nutritional supplements to help fuel their body, to help them just every day. But with glutathione, with being an activator, it's making your body make more glutathione, and it's making your body reduce all these free radical little monsters growing around, running around in your body that you don't want. So that's what Protandim does. Everyone has what they call this NRF2 pathway. And NRF2 is NRF2 is just a genetic pathway that every single person has in their body. And when you start breaking things down, or this hardcore athlete, you need you need to get this in your body, and you need to get rid of some of these oxidative stressors and increase these enzymes. So that's how Protandim started. And it's just 5 ingredients that by themselves are fantastic. Things like turmeric and ashwagandha and green tea and bacopa. And when you put them all together, though, and that's what this doctor founded and discovered, and that's why it's patented. When you put them all together, it increases how it works by 18-fold. That's like 1,800% more in your body than just each one in particular by themselves. And that's the magic of activation. When you can make your body make it instead of just taking it, that's key. And then when you combine it with the collagen, so the collagen, we just got a patent. And here's the reason why. The collagen by itself is amazing. It's a marine collagen peptide. So it's highly absorbable. It's liquid. Our body can take it. And it's not just a supplement. We are actually activating our own collagen to make more collagen in our body. This is huge because even when you're younger than 20, and you're in a growing phase, your collagen is growing like crazy because you're growing and it's activated and you're making more. As you get older, from 20 on, it starts going down and down and down. So we need something not just to give us a collagen. And that's why this is so different than any other collagen out there on the market. Because what our collagen does is makes your body make more collagen, which is key. But when you combine the liquid collagen with Protandim, that's where the magic happens. And the collagen is made from 10 different collagen peptides to begin with, the liquid one. But when you have it combined, it is huge because it activates 5 different collagen types. I got to read them for you so I don't forget them. Most collagens are type 1 and type 2. It's like hair, skin, nails, what you would think collagen is for, bones. But type 3 is for muscles and blood vessels. Type 4 is for tissue anchoring. And then type 7, type 7. And then type 13 is cell-to-cell communication. So it's for blood vessels. It's for all the connective tissue. It's for the tendons. And this is why we're seeing such great results and having these great stories from not just young people, but people of all ages that get hurt, because it is this type 7 and type 13 isn't even in our collagen. It's making our body make them. This is huge. You can't get them anywhere else. That's the whole difference. My husband, who's 64, in January last year, he was up on a piece of equipment way high up, and he missed a step to come off, and he fell 6 feet down onto concrete. And he put his hand out to stop him. He had had a shoulder replacement. He landed on his hip. He landed on that side, ribs, everything. So he landed on that and had to drive 2 hours back home. And he says, I think I kind of hurt my hand. And I'm like, no, I think you broke it. So I took him to the hospital. They x-rayed it. It was broke. And I made the doctor, because he says, well, he's not hurting bad enough. I said, well, he's on some really good products that helps with, you know, not supposed to say healing, but helps with recovery and helps with all kinds of things. And so I made him take the x-ray. It was broke. And so I said, well, x-ray his hip, x-ray his shoulder. And he said, well, they don't hurt. And I said, well, his wrist didn't either. So they did. He didn't have any other injuries. But when you're in your 60s and all you do is break your wrist, but the cool thing about it is he had been on this Healthy Glow Stack, the collagen and Protandim, October, November, December, just 3 months, like a couple weeks shy of 3 months. So not even a long time for being 64. In 5 weeks, he was out of his cast, completely healed. When my boys broke things back when they were doing all of their sports, we're looking at 8 weeks and then recovery and time off to be able to go back to sports, concussions. We're talking, I mean, big things that we went through. It blows me away, the stories. It's not a matter, I mean, yes, take pictures because your face is going to glow, you're going to look different on it. But these young kids, they're not going to see a difference in their face because they're young and they're healthy and they don't have any wrinkles. But where you're going to see it is inside the cell. So critical, so critical to be on these because we want to help you prevent injuries, especially your daughter and the gymnasts and the parents that are on here for that. But no matter what sport you're in, whether it's baseball and sliding into a base or whatever the injury could be, no matter what sport you're in, it's critical to help prevent things. And I think you had, I don't know if you do a screen share, if you, the pictures I sent you, I don't know if you can pull them up or not. But I'm going to talk about Axio, our Axio product for hydration. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is because it's not just electrolytes. Most of these hydration drinks out there, and I won't name all the names, but most of those hydration drinks pretty much give you salt and sugar or sometimes potassium. But our hydration formula is way beyond that because it has all the electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. It gives you all the minerals to support fluid balance and muscle contraction and nerve signaling and cramp prevention, that one. It does so much. It has 74 trace minerals. That's unheard of to have that many minerals in there for energy production and recovery and bone health and connective tissue. But here's the cool thing, glycine. So glycine and collagen go hand in hand because glycine is an amino acid, and amino acids are what collagen have in them. So when you add this hydration product with the collagen and with the Protandim, and it's helping your athletes, whether they sweat a lot or not, those muscles are being used. They need those trace minerals. They need glycine to help them with the collagen. The other thing that's in this is the gut-friendly fiber and fermentation, just to help support your microbiome. That's unheard of. I mean, to have all of that in there. But when you add all that and you keep them hydrated afterwards, and they tell you that after you work out in the first 30 minutes is when you should have more protein, have your carbs, have this hydration, drink your collagen. If you're an athlete, that's really, really important. So like 30 minutes after working out or practice, drink your collagen then. The Protandim doesn't matter. The Nerf 2 can be anytime. But this hydration and that collagen should be within the first 30 minutes after working out to help with that muscle recovery because that's critical during that time. Um, and Maki, you said your daughter actually has an injury right now with her ankle, and you have her on the collagen now.
Yeah,
Awesome.
correct.
Yeah, that's really. And how old is she?
She's 15.
Okay. And how long has she been doing gymnastics?
Almost like 10 years.
So when you have someone, even if they're that young and they've been doing I mean, you're going to have injuries. So equip your kids with the best nutrition ever, with the best I'm not going to go into details as far as what you should eat or not. I think we all know no sugar, especially if you're hardcore athletes. No processed food. Eat real food if you can pick it or grow it. Um, I don't know if I sent you the slide I don't think I did, that has I did, the collagen types that showed all those five that it activated. That one. That's a good visual because there's the type 1, the type 2, the type 3, the type 7, and the type 13. So it's for blood vessels, it's for skin, it's for collagen, it's for tendons, it's to repair and rebuild. This activates so many genes, thousands of genes, and that's why it got patented, is because it does unexpected results. So Protandim by itself is fantastic for lowering that oxidative stress and inflammation. And the collagen by itself is fantastic because it does so many things with the 10 collagen peptides in it. But when you combine them together and activated these five different collagen types, that's amazing. That's the kind of foundation any athlete needs to help recover faster. I mean, it is about rest and recovery if they will, I mean, if it's an injury, you have to rest and recover. Um, Trying to think. Cortisol, recovery, 20 to 30 grams of protein. Um, I have so many things. So I thought I want to keep this simple and don't get too complicated. Well, questions. Anybody have questions? Now, compliance wise, I can't diagnose or treat or give any kind of medical advice, but I love answering questions from anyone that has anything that they want to know more of.
Dr. Janet, a lot of my customers often ask me, like, this, especially like when it comes to kids, like, can I give it to my 5-year old? Can I give it to my 10-year old? Like, what do you suggest?
If you if if they're not athletes where they're competing and constantly having strain on their muscles and tendons and ligaments and bones, I, the collagen you probably would not need to do at that age because the first 20 years of their life they're producing collagen. But when you're an athlete, that's different because you are breaking down those muscle fibers and connective tissue so much more. Um, and I had someone that just came and picked up because I think he's 10 or 11, just broke his leg, both the tib and fib, bad break that they had to go reset. So they came to get collagen and Protandim. And so if there's an injury, then definitely I would do that. The Protandim, you can chop it up. So I have grandkids and for ADHD and just so not on the athlete side of it, but I will chop it up into fourths because it makes it little enough, and you can stick it in food that they can take for to help lower their because it activates their brain, and we have a different product that's the Axio that helps activate their brain, but it won't. Dr. Nancy has always a good response to this. Everything is derived from whole foods. It's real foods. This isn't like a medication. This isn't a drug. This doesn't need to have a warning on it. Um, if they eat fish, they're fine, and berries and cherries. Um, it's just because that's where the collagen is derived. But that's a really good question.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? You can just unmute yourself and ask her, or you can put it in the chat if you want.
Like I said, we could go into lots of other things, but I think to keep it simple and understandable, stories. Does anybody that's on here have collagen stories of my husband? So someone's not. Oh, Kirby unmuted. Hey,
Hi, Janet. Hey, so I asked this question in our medical mastermind just barely. But so my mother-in-law, she has a lot of allergies to like citrus, anything citrus or like acidic things. So she has a lot of joint pains and things, and I had her start on the NRF2 and the collagen. But after taking the collagen for 3 days, she broke out in such a bad rash and hives and itching like all over her whole body, her head, her scalp, under her arms was really bad, broke out in a rash. And so I guess my question is, what is kind of your recommendation on people that have like a citrus or an acidity allergy? Because like she can't even touch tomatoes with her bare hands without her hands breaking out.
that's hard. That is a hard one because if they have true allergies, even though it's whole foods, even though it's natural, even though it's healthy stuff that's in it. I mean, if you have someone that's allergic to something, they of course avoid it. Or start them on the Protandim first, start them on the Nerf 2 because that's going to lower a lot of oxidative stress. And here's an interesting fact or point, not fact, but I have a patient who's allergic to turmeric. And so she was afraid to take this. And I said, because it's a synergy and because it's not just turmeric and it's in low doses and it's made kind of like if you're making a cake and you need so much of this and so much of this, but it's all together so your body makes the cake kind of a thing. She has no problems with it. She's not, she can take it just fine. She doesn't have any kind of allergic reaction to it, which kind of tells you everybody's body's different. So with your mother, definitely keep her off the collagen for a while. Don't get off of the Protandim because a lot of times that, like I said, it all started with the Protandim as far as lowering that oxidative stress, increasing her glutathione. But she's going to detox from that too. And she might want to take it at night while she's sleeping. Because I've had people break out, not allergic, but because the skin's the largest organ in the body. So anything lung and large intestine, if you are going to do something in it, you need toxins to get out, it can come out of your skin too. So I've had people that had different kind of reactions where they broke out in their skin, but it wasn't like an allergic reaction. But your mom sounds like it's an allergic, so avoid it for a while.
Yeah, she's been allergic. We found out probably 30 something years ago that she has citrus allergies. And so,
You, so here's a point. I have people that have been allergic to certain things like that, and they get on the P84 for gut health and repair the gut and repair the gut lining and things they used to be allergic to, they can now eat. I'm not saying that might help or that might do that, but get her on the P84 and see what she does.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I think Lacey has a question. Go ahead.
I just wanted to Janice asked if there was any personal stories. You guys, literally a year and a half ago, if you would have saw me walk up and down stairs, it looked like I was 90 years old. I had pain in my shoulders, my back, my hips, my knees, even in my hands, like my joints, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, all this stuff runs in my family. And I kept not believing in this stuff until I tried it. And you should see the way I can work out now. Working out is my life. I love it so much. I could not even walk up and down stairs. Now I literally go to the football stadium and I run up and down the football stadium bleachers. That little yellow pill and that collagen, I call it liquid gold. It completely changed my life. It gave me my health back as far as joint pain and that kind of stuff. And so I always thought collagen just doesn't work, you know. This collagen and this Protandim pill, I literally I have my life back and I'm so thankful for it because joint pain, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, all that kind of stuff, it sucks so bad. And so I have
Any
that's a personal story. And I
any autoimmune is horrible to have because it's when it settles in the joints, it's horrible, horrible, horrible. In Canada, so we can't say it in the United States, but in Canada, they actually use this for osteoarthritis. And we're not allowed to say it in the United States, but in Canada, they can.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
How about Kristen? You have a question?
I I do. Well, not really a question. I kind of wanted to share my personal story, and Maki is very familiar with this. So Maki is the reason why I started taking Protandim. I'm a fellow gymnastics mom, and I was telling her how I've had this debilitating chronic arm pain for I think it's been about 3 years. And nothing I did helped it. I did physical therapy. I tried every single topical cream and arthritis, everything. I wore arm braces. I couldn't even hold my child. I couldn't, he's a pretty big boy, but I couldn't hold him as a baby because my arm pain was just so severe. And when I met Maki, she was sharing with me about Protandim, and I was like, I'll try anything. And I tried it, and lo and behold, within the first month, I was like, is it all in my head? I'm not sure if I'm going crazy, but my arm pain was just suddenly dwindling away. And then I think it was by month two, I had little to no pain at all in my arm. And it was like, it was literally life changing for me because I mean, I was miserable every single day. From the moment I woke up, my arm was like throbbing and swollen until I went to bed and I was wearing like patches and pain things and whatnot. But until I had the Protandim, that's how my daily life was. And I thought everyone would tell me, oh, you're just getting older. So that's, you just have to accept it. But after I started taking it, I thought, you know what? You don't have to accept it. And that's not my norm. And it's changed my whole life. So like, just like Lacey said, I can work out again now. I can lift weights. I can pick up my child without having any pain. It's a miracle. And then one last thing, my husband was, you know, in the middle of all that, he's like, hey, what about your knees? And I was like, oh my God, I see my knee had like a cartilage crunching sound for about 10 years. I worked a lot of retail when I was younger, and I just, it was like my norm to have the crunching. That has since disappeared. And that, I was telling Maki about that, and I was like, I didn't even realize it was gone until my husband said something. And I was like, wow, no matter what I did in life, it never went away. And then Protandim. So I just want to share that with you guys. Not really any questions, but I love it. Like, I feel like I can't live without it now.
And think about it. I mean, we're old, and so we notice when things start aching and start hurting. But when our young kids are in sports, they just think it's normal because they're in sports and they're supposed to hurt. And and a lot of times, and they recover so fast without, so when you give them these fantastic activators to help their body along, they're going to notice, oh, wow, this is crazy. I didn't know that I could feel better even young. We notice a difference right away because like, oh, I can sit here. I mean, we have x-rays that show disc spaces in your back that are hydrated again. Again, 40 years of doing this and using so many good things. I have never seen on x-ray disc spaces hydrate again. It's unheard of. And so the science, the thing about this product and this company is that I love the science. And we don't have to try to prove anything because they already have. They already have the science, they have the research, they clinical studies, they spend millions of dollars getting this right to figure out exactly what recipe activates the things that they're working on, that we need to work on in our body. But yeah, but we need to remember that our young kids are not going to come and tell us, here's the thing. Because like my son, I had when he was a wrestler, he was a state champion. And the year that he won state, the very first match that he did during state on the very first day, he dislocated his shoulder. And I had to pop it back in. And he went out in the parking lot and I did stuff to him and lasered stuff and things like that. I didn't have anything. This was 8 years ago. He's tougher than he go, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And he went and wrestled 2 more times, hurried up and did it. The next day when he had to for state, I'm like, and I saw them wrapped it up. When they want to do something, when they want to compete, they're going to lie. They're going to tell you, I'm fine. I can do this. I don't hurt that bad. I know this like is big competition, or this is for state, or this is for this nationals or whatever. They're not going to be truthful to parents. They really are not. So pay attention to all of those little warning signs and say, be proactive. Give them something that they're hardcore competitive like this, because I guarantee you they're probably hurting and they're not going to tell you.
That's so true. That is so true. And then their like pain tolerance is like so much higher than ours. So like even
It
though
is.
like they're like, oh, how much is the pain? Like, is it like then they're like 2 out of 10? That means like 7 or 8 for us, right?
Exactly. Sometimes we can stub our toe and it's like a 10. So, and sometimes people are a 1. So everybody's pain levels are different. So that is very, 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 very true. They're not, stress fractures are so common. And if they don't see something crooked or going the wrong way, it's like, well, it's not broke, it's okay. But so, and it adds up. So just be on top of your kids. Make sure that they're getting some good protein. Get them on the collagen be right after, within the first 30 minutes after working out. That's the best time for recovery. So this has been great. I love questions.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much again, everybody, and for being here tonight. And then a huge, huge, huge mahalo to Dr. Janet for taking the time to share all of this valuable information with us. Like, wow, incredible. So I hope
Thank you.
tonight's seminar gave you more insight into how we can better support our young athletes or us, not just in performance, but in their overall health, recovery, and long-term wellness. And as parents, coaches, or supporters, we all want these kids to thrive, not only in sports, but in life. So for those of you who are interested in learning more about or purchasing any of the products that she talked about tonight, they're only available through referrals. So please reconnect with the person who invited you to this call, and he or she will be more than happy to answer your questions and help guide you further. So thank you again, everybody, and have a wonderful evening. Mahalo, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.